Hello. I feel really great this evening. I drank some ceremonial cacao before I went to my yoga class, and then I did my yoga class, and now I just got home. I've got Dorito here with me, and I just feel really great. The cacao is it's this. It's very nice. I make it with honey and cinnamon, and I put it in this little like frothy machine, and some soy milk, and it's really good. It's a vasodilator, I think is the word. So it opens up your blood vessels, and it's meant to be like a physical and spiritual heart opening medicine. And I feel like it's doing that. I did some journaling today, and I'm actually just going to talk about what I journaled about. It came up about perfectionism and pride, and you know, I was trying to unpack a little bit where my fear of speaking and being heard comes from. And I realized that when I was younger, like proper young, when I was a kid, look at his hair. He's called Dorito because he's shaped like a Dorito. Anyway, I realized as a kid that at times I was quite outspoken, actually, and I've always been very concerned with the truth and with honesty, and I've always found it very hard to lie. It's something I've realized about myself recently. I really hate having to try and be something I'm not. I hate having to act like I'm something I'm not, and lie. Like I find it very difficult to do that. I'm not saying I've never lied, like I have, obviously. I'm a human being, but I think especially when I was a kid and I didn't have any survival mechanisms around talking, and you know, you're just a kid and you just say whatever's on your mind. I could be a bit brutal with the truth, actually, when I was young, and sometimes I think people lashed out back at me when I said certain things, and as a result, I think I learned to be less outspoken and to feel like more often than not it's not my place to speak or to say things. I think I've carried that with me for quite a long time, and the problem with it now is that I've found myself in many situations where I look back and I think that was definitely my time and place to speak and to say something, because it would have helped somebody, or something I had to say could have brought light to a situation or could have made a situation better, you know. And I didn't, because I was fearful, and I was prideful in being worried about saying the wrong thing. And it's not that I think knowing when to speak is a good trait. I think it does get you far in life, you know, knowing when to speak and when not to speak, and sometimes keeping quiet gets you further than saying things does. But I'm realizing that there's a lot of space for me to actually talk in, and there's a lot of value in some of the things that I have to say, particularly when I am in my heart space and I am drawing wisdom from my heart and from a deep place of love and light, that I've got good things to say to people that can help people. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get past myself and my own fear, because if there's something I could be doing to make the world better, then I should be doing it, and I need to get out of my own way to make sure that I do. And I realized perfectionism plays a role, not just in me trying to speak, but also that's been something that's held me back in a lot of different situations. I think a lot of people struggle with that as well, as this fear of not being able to do something well, so you just don't do it at all. And the reality is that the person who's doing something badly is achieving more than the person who's not doing it at all and just thinking about doing it well or better, right? If you're looking at someone and you're thinking like, I could do that better than they can, but you're just sitting there thinking about the fact you could do it better than they can, and you're not actually doing it. You're not actually doing it better than they can. You're just thinking that you do. So you're not really, you're not really achieving anything, and they're a lot, far further ahead. And that's something I've been overcoming the last few years as well. Hello? And something particularly with like throwing myself into the outdoors and hammocking and going camping and going hiking and doing a lot of that on my own at the start. I exposed myself to doing a lot of things badly and failing at a lot of stuff. And I didn't die and nothing bad really happened. And to be honest, I was doing it on my own, so there was no one there to judge me except for myself. And then I ended up getting good at it, But you've got to be willing to do things badly and let go of the need to be good at everything and to do things to such a high standard sometimes. And I think that's also where pride comes in, because I think I went through a lot of my life thinking that holding myself to such a high standard made me a better person than other people. But it didn't really. All it really did was just hold me back from doing things and achieving the things that I wanted to achieve, because I was worried about failing. And actually, it made me put myself down when I didn't do well, and that is equally paralyzing and stops you in your tracks and stops you from continuing. One thing I remember in particular was when I first started running, and I literally could not run for more than like a minute because I was asthmatic, and that was a big struggle for me, and I was trying to heal a lot of my asthma basically. And I remember just crying after like not being able to run for a minute and being so angry with myself and so upset that I couldn't do it. And I don't think I ran again for like a month. And it wasn't until I started reading a book called The Wise Heart by Jack Cornfield. Was it that book? Yeah, I think it was. And I started getting to grips with the idea of the fact that you're not your thoughts or your body, but you're the awareness of it. And being able to move into that space and sort of re-identify yourself and identify with the thoughts that are better for you than the ones that are putting you down. And I moved into the idea of re-identifying myself as somebody who couldn't run into somebody who was trying to run and who was a beginner. And just that slight adjustment to my mindset made a huge difference. And suddenly running for a minute felt like an achievement rather than a failure. And by doing that, I let go of my pride. I let go of the fact that I should be able to run for half an hour. And I said, no, I should be able to run for a minute, and that's good enough. And then I kept going. Then I could run for a minute again and again, and then I could run for 2 minutes and 3 minutes. And now the other day, there was a time I could do 5k well under 30 minutes, but I haven't been running consistently. And the other day I just about managed 4.8k in 30 minutes, and I was really happy with that. But there was a time when I literally could not run for a minute straight, and I used this whole idea of re-identifying myself and identifying with the fact that I was a beginner runner and accepting myself in that place and not trying to be anywhere that I wasn't, And it was also, when I was out running, I'd push myself really hard when other people were around. If someone's walking past me, I'd like run faster so I looked like I was running better because I was scared of someone looking at me not being able to run. And then when I'd stopped that idea, I just said, no, I'm a beginner runner. Like, people can watch me run slowly. It's okay. And then I would run further and for longer because I'd run slower rather than burning myself out. It seems really silly when I think about it now, but at the time it was a really helpful mindset shift. So another thing that I did when I when I first started my job that I work at now, and I've had a few different jobs, and I actually find it really fun when I first start a new job. I know some people get really scared of the change and scared of going somewhere they don't know. But actually the first like couple months that you have at a new job, you have the perfect excuse to be making mistakes because you don't know what you're doing and you're being trained. And you get away with making mistakes. And so I often actually set out to make a lot of mistakes, and I kind of just plunge myself into it because I think the more mistakes I make, the quicker I'm going to learn. And I've done that with a lot of my jobs, and it's meant that I've always learned things really, really quickly, and I become very knowledgeable very quick and then very good at the job that I do. And so I think sometimes actually letting go of perfectionism and making failure the goal can actually get you further than making perfectionism the goal. You know, trying to do the job well is like the end goal, but if the short-term goal can be make as many mistakes as you possibly can, you'll actually learn a lot, and it won't feel like you're doing very well because obviously you're making mistakes and failing, but in the long term you'll suddenly just switch because you've made every mistake you could possibly make and now you can't make them anymore. So do you make mistakes? Don't know why I did that. Forgiveness for yourself is also very important after making mistakes, because again, that's something that can just hinder you from being able to move on and do better in the future when you're so hard on yourself. And again, you hold yourself to these high standards and you make a mistake, and then you're so hard on yourself and you beat yourself down for it. All you do is just leave yourself where you are in failure, and you can't pick yourself back up as easily when you don't allow yourself to be bad at something. You know, and what I'm doing with these videos, I'm not trying to make them perfect, you know, and I'm not really judging them that much. I'm just doing them, uploading them, kind of just leaving them. And I'm not really trying to get many views. I'm not really trying to have lots of people see. Part of the practice is the fact that I'm being seen. And I want to do that because I want to be able to speak from my heart, know that someone else is listening and that I'm not going to die. That's the end fear at the end of the day. But equally, you know, my goal is not to be getting loads of views or anything, but my goal is to have the practice of every day speaking to a camera from my heart and trying to get my words out more coherently, and being able to get through the judgmental parts of myself and the perfectionist parts of myself, and be okay with whatever I produce being seen. And it's a weird practice because it's definitely unfamiliar for me in a creative sense. You know, like when I used to do art, I would get a feeling of like when I've done a drawing or a painting, afterwards I'd feel very proud of it and be like, this is amazing, and then I'd present it to, you know, whoever, or I'd put it on the wall to display and I'd be very proud of it and I'd want people to see it. And I'm sort of trying to move out of that kind of space with the fact that this is creativity as well. Like, I'm creating something here. This is something that comes from my heart, and it's a vulnerable space to be in because obviously you're going to be judged for it. And I'm trying to let go of my own judgment over what I'm producing and creating, and just allow my creativity to come out, right? And present it to the world with a feeling. You know, I'm searching for the feeling of this not being perfect. I'm searching for the feeling of being slightly uncomfortable with people seeing this, because the more I do that and expose myself to it, the more comfortable I'll get with just being able to be wrong and being able to say something that doesn't sound great and doesn't come out great and isn't really saying what I mean and whatever. You know, I need to just get comfortable with that, and the more I do it, the better that I'll get at speaking. So it's not really about what I'm creating, it's about, which my mentor says to me, I don't think he's gonna, I don't know if he's watching his videos, he probably won't, but he says it's not necessarily about what you're doing or creating, it's about the person you're becoming at the end of it. And that's the most important thing. By the end of these videos, I'm going to be better at speaking to a camera, you know, whether the videos are good or not. Yeah, I would have had 30 videos of practicing talking to a camera, so that's the point of it. And if it helps anyone along the way as well, if anything I say is of value and helps somebody, then that's a real big bonus too, because that's also why I'm trying to speak. I think that's all I've got to say today. I'm always hoping that when I have my tattoos out, someone's going to ask me to do a tattoo tour. I've always wanted to do that, but maybe I shouldn't wait for someone to ask. I haven't really got that many, but I like them. And I think they're fun and they're quite interesting. So if someone does watch this and you want to know what my tattoos are, please comment. Please. No one will. Okay. Gonna go. And hope you have a nice evening. If you've never had cacao before, I highly recommend it. I feel like that's even helped me tonight, like speak. I just feel like in my heart, I feel like the sun, you know, in the Teletubbies, the baby sun, the sunshine that's the baby's face. I don't really know if the baby's smiling, but I feel like that. I feel like a little like sun, like my face is just the sunshine, and in my heart I'm just like, you know, I just feel warm and open. So I hope you feel that too. And whenever you're watching this, have a great day. I don't think many people are watching these, but I know a couple people that are. And I hope you enjoy it. Okay, we're gonna go brush our teeth now. Well, he's not. Bye.